All right, Bukola.
And let's get right into the next one. And we're looking at politics, especially ahead of the 2027 general elections. We continue our conversation on the litigation challenges of the Nigeria Democratic Congress. And joining us on this one is Mr. Dixon Irebo, is a Federal House of Representatives aspirant of the NDC. He joins us virtually this morning. Mr. Irebo, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Brief. You may need to unmute your device so that we can hear you. And while you're doing that, perhaps I should just get right into it. What many Nigerians would like to know is where exactly are we, or where is the NDC more specifically in its fight to ensure that its candidates are secure as they head to the ballot and there is no litigation before them. And while you're doing that, we'd also like you to talk to us about this new suit that has been adjourned by a federal high court in Abuja, I believe by a fresh set of litigants. So talk to us about these litigation challenges.
I don't know about the fresh litigation that has come our way, but the one that came on Friday, I'm very much aware that it has we have a stay of execution now, and it has been appealed. And of course, INEC has gone ahead to release the code to upload successful aspirants, that is the candidates of the party, to INEC portal and all of that. So yes, the court case that came on Friday is clearly more like a distraction that attempted to scuttle our drive, but it clearly states that NDC has come to stay, and that those in the villa presently are jittery about what is going to play out come 2027, because clearly the current administration haven't seen that the authentic result that came from the 2023 election, clearly the winner would have been well pronounced and all that. And this is the person of Mr. Peter Obi, and everything is being done by the Tinubu administration to ensure that he's not on the ballot. But unfortunately, they woke up too late, because the Nigerian people, as assured by Mr. Peter Obi himself that he's going to be on the ballot, the Nigerian people are with him as we moved in droves to the NDC, where by the grace of God in 2027 he will be, and so many other candidates be on the party ticket to ensure that we help rescue our country. So if there is any other litigation out there against the NDC, well, Nigerians will know better now that we have been announced better than we were announced before. These few days has really exposed the NDC a lot more to understand that though it's a young party, but the ruling party has clearly expressed its fears that this party is probably about to sack it from government. And by the grace of God, that's what will be.
Well, you didn't mention the name of the president somewhere in your commentary, but we do know that the litigant in the suit, that made the news on Friday is a certain Peace Movement Party. And you have said that you're not aware of this fresh litigation, but this one is by the pro-tem leader of the All Democratic Alliance, who is challenging the NDC for not following due process in its registration process. And you speak confidently, about the fate of candidates of the NDC as you enter this elections. But with this emerging issues around the NDC's registration and authenticity as a political platform for expression, aren't candidates worried that there could be a court ruling that could jeopardize the fate of their candidacy, close to the general elections?
The last time I checked, the court is not part of the schedule that INEC brought out. INEC has already released the schedule for the 2023 election, and there was no court litigation or court pronouncement that is announced in that schedule. So we have since moved on from where anybody who is doing any litigation now to distract the NDC. Like I stated earlier, they have come a bit too late. The ship has moved, the train has moved, and anybody who is attempting to scuttle this drive is probably calling for anarchy in the country. And I hope that, like I stated earlier, you said the litigant for the Friday, the PMP, the Peace Movement Party, that does not exist anywhere, because whenever the name is mentioned, it will look like PMP is one of the registered political parties in Nigeria. It's not. It's not either a registered NGO in Nigeria. So that such a body that does not exist anywhere is allowed to want to push the Nigerian democracy to completely on its knee. And we're discussing it. It's even an aberration, if you ask me. It's just how, unfortunately, rascally approach to politics has become the style. You know, who is afraid of Mr. Peter Obi? That's what we should be asking ourselves, you know, because it's not just the NDC that is this first place where this trouble shooting is more like following him about, kind of. Who is afraid of him? And that's why I said Mr. President, Chief Tinubu has, of course, as Commander-in-Chief, they would have presented before him the authentic result of 2023. I'm sure he would have seen who the true winner is. And that is why they are so rattled. That's why they are so afraid to see Mr. Peter Obi on the ballot. But like I said, it's too late. Anybody who is coming in with any litigation to attempting to stop NDC is wasting his or her time. And if government is directly now going to be involved, then it will mean that this government is calling for anarchy, because we will not continue to allow this level of political rascality to continue to play out in the polity. They should stop heating up the polity and just stop.
Mr. Aribu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. I remember the last time we had a conversation with you. You were still a member of the PDP. It's interesting, because I think it was you and Mr. Osoha who were here arguing over the Ibadan incident. Now you're strongly speaking for the NDC. So this is the politics of Nigeria. But that's just an aside.
It shouldn't slide, because yes, I was a member of the PDP, and of course we know why. If you were vying for any office and you really wanted to represent your people, you look for a platform that is not distracted. The government of the day has not pretended. They has used the FCT minister to destabilize the PDP, and there was no way one could stay in there. I've always taken,
all right.
I think
the point is well noted, so that I can throw in my question before the time runs out.
Okay. I needed to clear that part.
Yeah, let's talk about the NDC. Let's assume, without conceding, that they are responsible for what is going on in the opposition party, which they've constantly denied. Don't you think that also the political parties in this sense, some of the opposition parties like the NDC and the ADC, for instance, have a bit of a blame? I've read through the court document that happened, the ruling that happened on Friday. I know processes have been filed, a stay of execution and appeal has been filed, so we can't speak to the substantive issue. But the common decimal here is that it was a question of logo. So people are asking the question, how hard could it have been not to have changed logo in this sense? I'm not trying to dwell on the merits of the case. I'm saying that let's accept without conceding that the APC is responsible to kill the momentum of the opposition. Why does it look like the opposition itself is always opening itself up for such attacks legally?
How is that? Where did this very two-finger victory sign, where did it get, a challenge? Like I said, the process has far taken off. And anybody doing anything now is wasting his or her time. Logo was not our problem. If at the time logo the registration of the party, INEC insisted, or through the court order that, eventually affirmed that INEC should register the Nigeria Democratic Congress. If that was not exhausted at that time, then we would have been discussing whether we were able to get a logo or not. It has been concluded, and that logo is on the INEC portal. So logo is not it was never and has never been a challenge for the NDC. Rather, like I stated, some interloper, being instigated from wherever, the usual environment, because the APC has become the usual suspect in the allegation clearly out there in the public that they are doing everything possible to distract, destabilize the opposition party, particularly the main opposition leader, which is Mr. Peter Obi. Everywhere he has gone, the APC government, led by Mr. Tinubu, has clearly shown that it is afraid of the Peter Obi candidature. And that is why they did everything possible when he was in LP. They did what they did to destabilize the LP. He moved into the ADC. And of course, the ADC had its crisis and all of that. And Mr. Peter Obi, now known as the authentic master strategist, had to move. And having moved into the NDC on the 3rd of May, if we can all understand what is playing out, he moved in on the 3rd of May into the NDC, and on the 5th of May, this case, so-called by the PMP, was filed. So the question that we should be asking is, who is after Mr. Peter Obi? Who is afraid of Mr. Peter Obi being on the ballot in 2027?
Let's stay with that, who is after him. Now it is clear that this is going to be a fight to finish. Let's even admit without conceding that the whole idea of the APC is to keep the parties trying to survive than trying to campaign. What will be your response going forward, now knowing that, in the words of my Port Harcourt friends, they'll say, now that the jungle is maturing?
No, we are focused. Like I said to you just yesterday, the party leadership received the code for uploading of candidates to the portal. So we are very focused, and we're not distracted. Every strategic angles have been put in place. What the NDC is doing presently now is, after, of course, uploading of its candidates to the INEC portal, they will be discussing, if that discussion is not on already, about bringing all aspirants who are briefed together to ensure that we form a united front, because we now know that indeed we have a big chance to win the 2027 election. So the best we can do is to form the broom philosophy of ensuring that we get together and have a united front, and that should be the focus. By the time campaigns commence in earnest, NDC will not be left out. We're not distracted. That court judgment that came on Friday only came to more like even announce the party further, because Nigerians now know a lot more about the NDC. Right. Because while the enemy was coming against you, the Lord turned it in our favor. Really.
All right. Well, I've never seen a politician that is not an incurable optimist. Even in the face of evidence, a politician always speaks positive. But beyond your optimism and reports of your rank swelling ahead of 2027, have candidates asked the leadership of the party what really were the details around the registration? Did the NDC follow due process in the registration of the party? Why did the party have to secure its registration via court order and not the regular process as other parties did?
The regular process is for INEC to register you, and everything within the law was followed. So when INEC had a challenge with that registration, we approached the court. The leadership then approached the court, and INEC was directed or ordered to register the party, and that is complying with the law. That's due process. So there was no backdoor end or any illegal means by which Nigeria Democratic Congress was registered. That we went to court, and INEC was summoned, and INEC, was ordered, and INEC did not appeal the case, because that's what the issue here now. If INEC had appealed it, possibly maybe you will now say, oh, okay, INEC is not happy to follow the process of registration for of the NDC. No, it didn't appeal the case as far back as December, and the matter is far concluded. So due process was followed. There is no illegal way by which NDC came into existence. And being optimistic, oh yes. In fact, if there is any time that Nigerian people should be optimistic, not just politicians, as you refer to, all Nigerians should have hope now that there is a vista of hope available, a vista of opportunity available for us to help save our country, because Nigeria is presently in ruins, and everything possible that citizens can do through the ballot will be done. And that is why Mr. Peter Obi assures clearly that he will be on the ballot. And he is the hope that the Nigerian people now have, in the 2027 contest. So we are ready.
All right. Well, we'll have to take your explanation for now, even though there are more questions as to why the NDC is tagged, the party that secured registration by court order. But we'll pursue this conversation continuously.
Whether by court order or not, it is not an illegal.
And that's why I said we'll take that's why I said we'll take your explanation on that for now, even though there are follow-ups. Mr. Dixon Iregu is a House of Reps aspirant for the Nigeria Democratic Congress. Thank you so much for coming through on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll take a moment now, and when we return, it will be time to explore a very important conversation. Amid this round of xenophobic attacks and continuing marches of anti-immigration in South Africa, Nigeria-South Africa relations may have come under strain. What are the conversations being had, and what really is the true story about the disposition of South Africans towards other nationals in their country? Stay with us for details coming ahead.